Legal Services of the Hudson Valley's mission is to provide high-quality counsel in civil matters to low-income individuals and families and other vulnerable persons who cannot access legal representation in maintaining their basic needs, and to pursue equity through dismantling systemic oppression.
Legal Services created the Systemic Change Unit so that we could dedicate people entirely to working on bigger cases which have more of an impact on our client population as a whole. For the Many is an organization that I began representing in October of 2022 when a group of property owners sued the city of Kingston for adopting a law involving rent stabilization called the Emergency Tenant Protection Act. It's a law that applies to buildings built before 1974 with 6 or more units, and there are approximately 1,100 housing units which fall into that category.
After the ETPA was enacted on August 1st, I got a letter on August 5th stating that if I didn't sign a lease within the next 2 weeks, my rent was going to go up 30%.
I reached out to management hoping that they would help, and I didn't really get much of a response, or they just dismissed my concerns or kept on pushing the goalpost, saying that they were working on things.
My rent, when I started here, was $1,215. And then they sold, and the new landlord came and said, these apartments in New York City would be $8,000. So they started to rent gouge.
We quickly realized that this was a legal battle, that landlords had seemingly endless funds to get their lawyers involved. So we needed someone to help us tenaciously and without ceasing.
When this lawsuit came, it was obviously of paramount importance for the tenants of Kingston, so we entered into an attorney-client relationship to represent them with the broad goal of protecting a law which protects tenants.
It wasn't just like my shower temperature was bad, it was everyone's shower temperature was bad. And it wasn't just that my gas went out, it was everyone's gas went out.
There were several people that came forward and said, I've been borrowing money, I'm paying 60%, I'm paying 70% of everything I have to stay in this, hoping that, something is going to happen.
Private equity firms and corporations as landlords has led to the financialization of housing, where housing is viewed strictly as a commodity, a vehicle for wealth and investment, instead of as a social good.
Unemployment rates being so high and getting laid off earlier in the year, it's been very nice to know that there are people fighting to keep the people in Kingston and not just having everyone get pushed away by corporate landlords jacking up prices.
We actually lost an argument at the first court level where the court agreed with the landowners that a rent decrease or a maximum rent adjustment of a negative number was not legal, simply because the judge was incredulous because this has never been seen before. But we overcame that and we prevailed at the appellate level recently. So since this law went into effect, tenants have had that stability. Also, rent increases have been prohibited, so those further price pressures have been alleviated. Certainly, other tenant organizations can point to this court case as the rule of law prevailing.
It's given me a feeling of safety, financial safety mainly, but I definitely was not going to get that 15% rent reduction without Mercy fighting so hard for us.
The $200 a month that I pay for my Medigap insurance would be paid for by this.
Thank you for not giving up on the community and on the people here.
Legal Services, I'm so grateful you help tenants that wouldn't have a fighting chance without you. It's huge, it's powerful, and it's so important.
So almost every issue involving tenants has a racial justice component, and it takes changing practices to make that change.
Legal Services of the Hudson Valley is the only comprehensive civil legal services provider in our 7 counties. Unfortunately, the need for our services is much greater than the resources that we have. For every person who comes to us with a housing issue, we have to turn more than one person with those same issues away. We need your help. You can make a difference by going to Legal Services of the Hudson Valley's website at lshv.org and donating generously.